What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Robbie.G podcast. That's right. We are here. We are ready to go. It is Friday, March 1st, and it is a great day. It's not that cold, and there's no snow on the ground. So that's a beautiful start to the month of March. We are 3 weeks away from springtime. I can't believe winter's almost over already. It's been going quick. If today is your birthday, happy birthday, and here's some celebrities that share a birthday with you. Justin Bieber is the 30 today. Kesha turns 37. Actor Jensen Ackles turns 46. Football player Tyreek Hill is 30. WWE wrestler Big E turns 38. Saved by the Bell heartthrob Mark Paul Gosselaar turns 50. Ron Howard turns 70, and wrestler Booker T turns 59. Also, happy heavenly birthday to Harry Belafonte, who would have had a birthday today had he still been alive. So happy birthday to those celebrities, and of course, happy birthday to all of you out there listening right now. We have a big show today. Lots of stuff to talk about. The NFL Combine started yesterday, and it goes all weekend. We're going to talk about Scottie Pippen and his Last Dance tour that he's going on with Horace Grant and Luke Longley. We've got the Bears' new staff I'm going to talk about right now. And then Chris Chelios had his jersey retirement. I also have award winners from the SAG Awards that were last weekend. 30 most hated TV characters in history. And we're going to talk about what's coming to all the streaming services. And, of course, my top 10 list, which is the top 10 alternative women of all time. So let's get it started with some NFL Combine talk. Everybody knows the big story is Caleb Williams has decided not to participate in any of the active drills during it, and he also will not release his medical records to all the teams in the league. He has said he will release them to the teams that he wants to talk to. So he will release them to them. He just doesn't want every team having it. I kind of understand that. Not a big deal. If you know you're not going to play for a team, why even bother? And, you could say, well, any team can trade for that number one spot. Not any team is going to just trade for that number one spot. That's just not how it works. So, most likely it looks like the Bears are going to end up taking Caleb Williams with that number one spot. He already said Chicago is on his short list of teams that he'll give his medical records to. And also he talked to them already yesterday, and he said all went well. If you've been watching the Caleb Williams saga unfold the last few weeks, you've heard that he loves deep dish pizza. He loves Michael Jordan and Walter Payton, even though he didn't grow up watching them because he was too young. He has watched tape from them, and he wants to go down in history with Michael Jordan and Walter Payton. So, look, the kid's saying everything he needs to say. But if you're a Bears fan, it's all about action. Anybody can talk. Guys talk all the time when they come in here. It's all about the actions. And there's still no guarantee that Justin Fields is gone from the Chicago Bears. There's no guarantee he's getting traded. Nobody has said that it's a full-gone conclusion that he's getting traded. At least nobody from inside the Bears have said that. But Ryan Poles did say if they decided to trade Justin and go with a quarterback in the draft, then that decision and trade would be made by the time free agency starts, which is next week already. Yeah, actually not next week, the week after. So, I think around the 14th of March. So, yeah, NFL free agency starts. He wants to know who his quarterback is going to be for sure. If they decide to stick with Fields, he will stay. They will end up most likely either trading that draft pick away or possibly there's a chance that they could trade that pick and obviously draft a Marvin Harrison Jr. There's gonna be a lot of teams that are gonna want that number one pick. A lot of teams want Caleb Williams, and I think the Bears are one of them, but they're just not sure what to do with Justin yet. Justin had a bad rap here in Chicago because he had Nagy as his coach, and then he had an offensive coordinator in Luke Getsy who he didn't get it at all. Yeah, Luke didn't get anything at all. So, I mean, it was terrible. Almost as bad as my joke just now. But, yeah, no, I mean, honestly, the Chicago Bears need to decide this. Would Justin Fields or Caleb Williams be able to take them over that hump and make the playoffs with a new coordinator and to be built around? Who do the Bears think? Who does Ryan Poles and Kevin Warren, not the Bears, Kevin Warren and Ryan Poles? Because at the end of the day, they're the ones that are going to make the decision. The McCaskies do not pull the strings when it comes to players. Virginia McCaskey, I don't even know if she knows half the time what day it is at her age. I mean, she's going to be 100 years old. You know, I mean, if she's not... Is she already 100 years old? Did she? Yeah, I think she did celebrate her 100th birthday already. Let me see. I'm pretty sure she did. So if she did, I mean, even if she's 99 or 100, it doesn't matter. The point is, you know, you can't just go out there and say, you know, we need a quarterback who's going to finish games. And this is exactly what Matt Eberflus said. What he looks for in a quarterback is somebody in the fourth quarter or overtime that can finish a game. That could have been a shot at Justin Fields, because how many turnovers has he had? And look, I am one of the biggest Justin Fields supporters and fans in the world. And I would love to see him either do great with the Bears this year or go somewhere and flourish there. I don't want to see him be Trubisky, who got so shook by the coaching of the Bears that he went somewhere else and was still bad. Because I don't believe Trubisky is that bad of a quarterback. I think he just got ruined by Chicago. He got ruined by Matt Nagy. And I'm sticking to that story my entire life. I don't think it was Mitch. To be rated as high as he was coming out of the NFL Combine, and for them to say that he was going to be a good quarterback, he was going to be better than Mahomes, he was going to be better than Watson. These are the same analysts who talk about Caleb Williams being generational. So that's why I'm not sure yet. But look, the kid's saying all the right things. He's saying all the right things at 22 years old. And he will be cheaper in the long run than Justin Fields for a while. He will save us a lot of money that we could spend other places. Look, he's either going to be as bad as Fields is at times, or he's going to be better. He really can't be much worse. We know the turnovers that Fields has. Fumbles, interceptions. We know. We've seen it. We've all scratched our head and said, kid, hold on to the ball. Hold on to the ball. And I know it's easier said than done when you're not playing out there, but at the same time, I mean, you're an NFL pro. You've got to be able to hold on to that ball tight when you run it and not fumble it. Some of those fumbles were head scratchers, but then again, I mean, look, that's any quarterback. I mean, I've watched some of the best quarterbacks out there in my lifetime. I mean, I've been around watching football since like the mid 80s when I was like 5. I was 5 when the Bears won the Super Bowl. I was 5. I just turned 5 when they won the Super Bowl. I was like October, I turned 5, and then they won it in January. And so being 5 years old, I remember it, but not 100%. You know, I remember cheering and everybody happy. I felt that happy in 2006 when we went back and played against the Colts. Everybody remembers. It was a beautiful day. You know, we had, you know, Prince doing the greatest halftime show in the history of halftime shows. Still today the best one ever. Nobody has topped it yet. And I don't think anybody ever will. Purple Rain, In the Rain, come on. You can't draw a better thing than that. And the Bears and Colts, Devin Hester making that big, huge return for a touchdown to start the game off. Everybody feeling great. And then the next drive when the Colts had it, Peyton Manning threw the interception. I mean, it was great. Like, we really thought this was it. We're going to see another Super Bowl. A little over 20 years later. Or 20 years later, actually, technically. Because the Super Bowl was 86. It was 85-86. That was 2005-2006. So, 20 years to the day, the Bears had a chance to win it again. So, I mean, look, we watched it. We got let down. Then Cutler got us to the NFC Championship game. We were excited. He hurt his thumb. He lost to the Packers. Look, the Bears fans have suffered through years and years and decades of despair being a Bears fan. We just want one quarterback. I don't care if it's Justin Fields, who turns it around and plays great for us, or if it's Caleb Williams or Drake May, Bo Nix, Kirk Cousins. I don't care who it is. We threw that out there last week. I threw that out there when we talked about this, that Kirk Cousins is going to be a free agent. Who's to say that we don't take Kirk Cousins and then draft a quarterback that could sit behind him and watch? Would you really want Fields to be the quarterback that molds the next quarterback? He's not great. He's not that good. He's serviceable at best. And so would you really want somebody sitting behind Fields? I would rather somebody sitting behind Kirk Cousins. Pimp Daddy Kirk Cousins is going to take you at least get you to the playoffs. Possibly a division win. We know this. We've watched him in Minnesota. Minnesota was doing great up until the point that he got hurt last year. And that injury can happen to any player at any time. So yeah, if I'm the Bears, I'm looking at free agency maybe. Maybe they're not even looking at Caleb Williams right now. Maybe they're going to take somebody else. Maybe they're going to trade that spot, get a Marvin Harrison Jr. in, let somebody else have Caleb Williams, take Kirk Cousins in free agency, which is before it, so we'll know before the draft what the Bears are doing at quarterback. Take Kirk Cousins, draft Marvin Harrison Jr., draft a center or an edge for defense, and then in the second or third round, because you're going to trade Fields, you're going to get at least a second or third rounder for him. Probably a second rounder. I would say a second rounder. Teams want him. Teams are willing to give up for him. So I think you're not going to get a first round pick for him, but you're going to get a second round pick. So I would take that. And then maybe draft a quarterback. Look, there's still going to be a few of them left in the second round. I can almost guarantee it. You could even take a J.J. McCarthy for all you care. J.J. McCarthy could be molded into an NFL quarterback. He did good in Michigan. He was a good quarterback. He's, with the team that I love, the Michigan Wolverines. But I think, he could be a serviceable quarterback if he sits behind the right quarterback. And there you go. Kirk Cousins. Baker Mayfield's out there. There's some decent serviceable quarterbacks that could start for the Bears and mold a young one. You could even go Marvin Harrison Jr. with the number 1 pick or the number 2 if you're going to trade it. And then at number 9, take a quarterback, because somebody like Bo Nix is still going to be there at number 9 most likely. You could still get him. You could still get Michael Penix Jr. So now you got your receiver, you got a backup quarterback rookie that you can mold behind Cousins or Baker Mayfield, but I'm going for Cousins. I'm going for gold here. Cousins is a decent starting quarterback who could finally be that guy that can mold a quarterback for us. So yes, if I were the Bears, I would do that. I would look that way too. If you're not going to go quarterback in the draft and take somebody like Caleb Williams. If you're going to take Caleb Williams or Drake May, then no. I probably wouldn't take Kirk Cousins and waste the money on him, because that's going to be a quarterback that you're most likely going to throw right in there. And a lot of people say, well, why would you throw him in there? Because they should be NFL ready. Let's put it that way. If you go number 1 or number 2, you really should be NFL ready. Remember, Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes, none of them were number 1 or number 2 draft picks. That's why they sat behind guys. Because they didn't even know, most teams didn't even know these guys were going to be that great. Nobody thought Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre and, Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes were all going to be the quarterbacks that they became. Nobody thought that because of where they were drafted. They were drafted because they needed a backup quarterback. They didn't think these guys were going to be big-time quarterbacks for them. Hall of Famers, in the conversation to be GOATs. Nobody thought that. Nobody thought that with any of them. because they came later rounds. You think great quarterbacks are in the first round. You think number 1 draft picks, number 2 draft picks. So, yeah, no. I mean, if I'm the Chicago Bears and I'm taking a Caleb Williams or a Drake May, I'm starting them right away. I'm not going to wait on them because, honestly, they're NFL ready now, I would think. But who knows? All right, let's move on to our next topic. We're going to talk about Chicago Bears coaching staff. They announced it last week. They are full. They are ready. They've got offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. They've got a new woman as an assistant coach for them. This is awesome. This is awesome, and I'm glad that the Bears have their team in place going into the draft and into free agency. So here is going to be the Chicago Bears 2024 coaching staff. Of course, Matt Eberflus is back as the head coach. Richard Hightower, special teams coordinator. Jason Haltag is the assistant offensive line. Shane Waldron, offensive coordinator. Kerry Joseph is a quarterback's coach. Eric Washington's a new defensive coordinator. Jennifer King is the offensive assistant running backs coach. And she's the first woman ever to be a coach for the Chicago Bears. So congratulations to Jennifer. Hope you are a big part of this team. And I hope that you win a championship with us one day. Let's see. The head and strength conditioning coach is Jim Arthur. Kevin Koch is the defensive quality control. Wide receivers coach is Chris Betty. Noble Landry is assistant coach, assistant strength and conditioning coach. Linebackers coach is Dave Barganzi. Chris Morgan is offensive run game coordinator and offensive line coordinator. Thomas Brown, offensive passing game coordinator. Chad Morton's going to be the running back coach. Zach Cable is the offensive quality control, and Pierre Nago is assistant strength and conditioning. Our Andre Curtis is secondary safeties. Kenny Norton III is defensive quality control. Jim Dre is the tight ends coach. David Overstreet II is nickelbacks. Harrison Freed is the director of research analysis. And Robbie Picasso, I think it's Picasso. It's pretty cool. Offensive assistant, QB, and wide receiver. Isaiah Harris is player engagement, strength and conditioning. Carlos Polk is assistant special teams. John Hoke is defensive passing game coordinator and quarterbacks. And Travis Smith will be defensive line coach. So there is your coaching staff for the Chicago Bears for this season. Hopefully, with that team in line, hopefully we're going to see something big happen. But we'll see what happens. Look, the Bears are a great team. They're a great organization. They just don't know sometimes what to do. And that's a big deal. Right now, did you guys see, here's another thing I want to talk about before I move on to another topic, is the Chicago Bears grade card. This is funny. I'm going to read it off right now. All right, so here we go. Here is the Chicago Bears NFLPA's report card and rankings for the Chicago Bears for the 2023 season, for 2023-2024. So here we go. Treatment of families, they got a C+, and 11th out of the league. Food and cafeteria, C, and they were the 21st on the list. Let's see, nutritionalists and dietitians, C+. They were 24th in the league. Locker room, A-, and the 4th in the league in that. Training room, B+, and 6th. All right, so let's see where else the Bears rank in this. Locker room, A-, 4th. Training room, B+, 6th. Their training staff got a B and the 10th in the league. Weight room, an A, the 6th in the league. Strength coaches, a B, 22nd in the league. Team travel, B, the 6th in the league. Head coach, they got a B grade for the 25th in the league. And ownership, a B+. I don't know if I agree with that last one. Let me know in the comments section if you're listening on YouTube, or send me a email or whatever, and I'll read some on the air. But let me know what you think about this grading, because I don't know, this grading's a little strange to me. Ownership a B plus. I don't know if I give the Bears ownership a B plus. This must be is this rated by players and they're just being biased? Because like I don't see a B plus for the owners. I'd see like maybe a C or a D. But not a B plus. A B plus is a high B. That's almost an A. Maybe the ownership isn't as bad as people think. I mean, we talked a lot of crap about it. But, I mean, maybe the players think different than we do. I don't know. Maybe they see something that we don't. Because, yeah, that's a little weird to me. But, you know, to each their own. That's the Bears report card. So, yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I don't agree with the ownership. I agree with a lot of the other stuff on there from what I've seen and heard from players. But yeah. All right, let's go quick into Chris Chelios' retirement with the, or not retirement. They retired his number. So nobody will ever be able to wear his number again at the United Center. Chris Chelios was a stand-up guy. He's amazing. I love that guy. I watched that speech. I almost cried. Like, honestly, because I grew up watching the Blackhawks when they did play on TV. Now, here was the thing. Everybody's used to seeing the Blackhawks on TV every single game. Back when I was a kid, they only played the road games. Home games, the Wirtz family wanted you to be there. They wanted you there. So they did not show any home games on television back then. The Bulls did. The Bulls always showed the home and away games. The Blackhawks would never. That was always their rule. They wanted fans to come to the game, and they felt that more fans would stay home and watch the game if it was on TV than they would if they came to the game. So if it's not on TV, if you want to watch it, there was only two ways. You could either see it in person, or you can listen to it on the radio. And radio is not as fun. You know, obviously people did, but I would much rather see the game with my eyes than hear it with my ears. So, you know, it was either go to the game or you didn't watch those games. You saw the highlights on the news later on, or the next day. But yeah, so nobody can believe that this guy is as sweet off the ice and mean on the ice. Because, like, I'm telling you now, Chris Chelios was a madman on the ice. Like, if you watch the highlights that they show to him, you would like be like, wow, he's a totally different person than if you met him in real life. Because I met him one time, and he was amazing. Like, he was a nice guy, really down to earth, really cool to be around, really nice to everybody, smiling, signing autographs. Then you see him on the ice, he was a completely different person, just knocking guys down and cheap shots left and right. I mean, he was a defenseman. This is what happens when you're a defenseman. You play defense. And he did. He played it to a T. And so, you know, I mean, he was in there. He got the hits, but he also got the goals. He was your captain's captain. And playing against Detroit, it was cool because if you saw the list of people who were there, I mean, there was Eddie Vedder was there. Kid Rock was there because he's a Detroit Red Wings fan. So, you know, he grew up watching Chris Chelios too. And I mean, if you look at, you know, being a defenseman and being a captain, you know, I always was used to the captains being like Taves and Kane were a captain and assistant captain, and you would have like they were forwards or centers, you know, but a defense guy being the captain, and then a forward, which was Jeremy Roenick, being the assistant captain, was just cool. But getting to see the list of guys that came out to see him was amazing. The ex-Hawks from the 2010 season, like Hossa, Brent Seabrook was there. Jonathan Taves didn't show up, but I don't know, he has some issues going on with health and all that, so he may not have been able to go. But, like, Tony Amani was there. I was watching with tears in my eyes because, like, I just thought of my dad, and I thought of, my brother-in-law Dan, who were huge Hawks fans, and they would have loved to see his retirement of his jersey. And so, like, to see the number 7 go up into the rafters and no one is allowed to use the number 7 in hockey again is an amazing feat for any player of any sport. And so, yeah, I loved it. It was great. It was a great night. Jeremy Roenick was there. Tony Amani was there. Ed Belfour was there. I think Corey Crawford, I saw him there. Marian Hossa was there. He looked great. Brent Seabrook was there. All the old Hawks. Duncan Keith was there. It was great. And then, obviously Detroit was there playing. So Patrick Kane, what he said about Patrick Kane was amazing. And to top off the night, Patrick Kane getting the ovation he did. Look, Detroit Red Wing or not, without Patrick Kane and Taves, there would not have been 3 championship ceremonies in Chicago in the 2010s. Just wouldn't have happened. Kane can play for Detroit and win a Stanley Cup for Detroit, and it won't matter because he's still a Hawk, and he will always be a Hawk. And one day, when I'm old, this is going to be years down the line. I'm already in my 40s now, so I'm guessing maybe in my 60s. Maybe in another 20 years, we're going to see Kane and Taves up there. And I hope that I'm still alive to see that because they were a huge part of the Hawks championship run. You could say, yeah, Hossa, Brent Seabrook, Corey Crawford, all amazing guys. All a big part of the championships. Duncan Keith got no teeth, lost his teeth and all that. But Kane and Taves, the captains, co-captains of the team, and Coach Quinville, I'm telling you now, those guys are amazing, and yes, those two will end up not only in the Hall of Fame, but they will end up having their jersey numbers retired for the Hawks, and we're going to see them up on the rafters of the United Center one day. I can guarantee it. And I hope I'm alive to see it because it'll bring tears to my eyes just like Chris Chelios. And I believe that Jeremy Roenick deserves it too. I think one day he deserves to have his up there too. But yeah, so I'm ready to see, Hawks did a nice little video tribute to Patrick Kane. He got to circle the ice a bunch of times. He even got to do a couple encores. It was a good night altogether. I'm glad I got to see it before I went into work because I work at 6:30, and all this happened between 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock. So I got to see all the main stuff happen. The Hawks ended up losing that game. Patrick Kane had the game winner in overtime. Look, it's only fitting that the man that Chris Chelios said is going to be the best American hockey player after him or before him. Because right now it's Chris Chelios. He said one day Patrick Kane's going to pass him if he hasn't already. So, yeah. So I feel like that was just fitting that he hit the game-winning goal. I can't even be mad that we lost to them with him hitting the game-winning goal. If it was anybody else, I'd be pissed, but I'll give him that. So, yeah. So let's move on. That was a great day, and now let's talk some Scottie Pippen. Let's talk Scottie Pippen, Horace Grant, and Luke Longley. Those 3 going on this Last Dance tour seems like watching the Real Housewives of New Jersey or any of the other cities that they do the Real Housewives crap. It's like watching 3 bitter women. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. And in fact, if you follow me on TikTok, I'm going to do a video on this in the next day or two, probably today. But yeah, watching these 3 on this 50-city tour that they're doing to talk about the Last Dance documentary makes them look like bitter housewives. Like, honestly, it's ridiculous. Without Michael Jordan, none of them would have rings. Let's just be honest. Okay, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. Michael Jordan would have won with anybody that was like Pippen in the 90s. Scottie Pippen would have never won without Michael. And that's just the long and short of it. And I'll explain to you why I feel that way. Originally, Scottie Pippen wasn't even coming to the Bulls. Originally, Scottie Pippen wasn't drafted to the Bulls. Originally, Shawn Kemp was going to be a Chicago Bull. Okay? I was completely wrong on that, and I'm glad I didn't post that, because I was wrong. Shawn Kemp was 2 years later, and he was drafted by Seattle. But Scottie Pippen was originally drafted by the Seattle Supersonics, and he got traded for Olden Polynice with the 8th overall pick, Olden Polynice, from the Bulls to the Supersonics for Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen, there was a lot of players that were like him, that could play on both sides of the court at the time. There was a lot of players out there like that. I believe the Bulls could have gotten a lot of different players that could have been a Scottie Pippen-esque player. But you were never going to find anybody like Michael. No other player, even that had a team around him, was able to do it. It just wasn't. No one. Charles Barkley, Karl Malone, Shawn Kemp, these were all some of your top players. You know, you had Karl Malone in Stockton. You had Kemp, and you had Gary Payton. You had Charles Barkley in Seattle with guys like Danny Ainge and Jeff Hornacek and Dan Marley, Kevin Johnson. I mean, these were all teams. You had New York with Patrick Ewing, and, you know, they had a list of players there like Charles Oakley, and they had, you know, other guys, you know, there too, John Starks. I mean, these were all pretty stacked teams, you know, and stuff. And Orlando at the time had Shaq and Penny during certain times. So, I mean, look, these teams were stacked, and they were still losing to Michael Jordan. There was no team out there, no matter how many teams they had, how many players stacked up, that were able to beat Michael. So if Scottie was a role player on any of those teams, the Bulls still would have won with Michael Jordan. They just would have had to go out and find a Scottie Pippen. And there was a ton of Scottie Pippen type players out there. You could have brought in a Shawn Kemp. That's what I was going for. You could have brought in a Shawn Kemp in '89. You could have brought in anybody. Because the Bulls didn't start winning the second Pippen got there. Pippen was drafted to the Bulls in 1987. They didn't win their first ring till 1991. So, you can't really say, well, Pippen made the difference, because they weren't winning until, like, 4 years after Pippen already got there. They weren't winning championships. They were getting to the playoffs. They got to the playoffs without Scottie Pippen there. You know, Michael Jordan, I don't know if there was a year that he wasn't in the playoffs from 85 all the way. Well, he did get hurt and broke his leg at one point, so he was out for, like, almost an entire season. But, like, honestly, like, every season Michael Jordan played in, he was pretty much in the playoffs. So, I mean, it's not like Pippen got them over the hump until, like, 1991. And by that point, it was Horace Grant was there, and they had Bill Cartwright, you had John Paxson, you know, and stuff. And then, you know, you had Stacey King, you had, you know, a lot of players, Will Perdue. And then, you know, you move on to when Michael Jordan retired. Scottie Pippen had a chance to lead a team that literally had Tony Kukoc on it. You still had B.J. Armstrong there. They had, who else was there? You had, you know, I believe, was Ron Harper there yet? I think Ron Harper might have been, or he may have been coming after that. But, I mean, you had a stacked team. Dennis Rodman wasn't there yet. He came when Michael Jordan was in his first full year with the Bulls back after that season. But, I mean, look, would you have seen Michael Jordan wearing a pair of Scottie Pippens, begging him to come back, pointing at the shoe, and then doing the come here like Pippen did? Look, everybody knows Pippen needed Michael. And now he's going on this big tour, and he's going to disparage Michael because he got made to look bad. He should look bad. The dude sat out because he didn't want to play, because he didn't get his way. Scottie Pippen was a great player, but he was a head case. He was already a head case back then. I can see why Larsa Pippen didn't want to stay with him, because of probably bullcrap like he's doing now. You won 6 championships because of being with Michael Jordan. Horace Grant won 3, and then, of course, Luke Longley won 3, but Pippen was there for all 6 titles. When he had a chance to lead the Bulls, they didn't make it past the Eastern Conference Finals. Every year Michael was there, they made the NBA Finals and won it when he was with Pippen. Now, do I think that Jordan could have used a Pippen? Yeah, he needed a Pippen. Everybody needs a Pippen. Everybody needs a Scottie Pippen. But there's a lot of players out there that could be a Scottie Pippen. I mean, hell, nowadays, I mean, if you look at the rosters that a lot of these teams have now, there's a ton of Scottie Pippens out there. There's a ton of guys that play offense and defense. Not really on the Bulls. The Bulls always lack that now and everything. But, I mean, yeah. And then I heard Horace Grant say he'd have punched Dennis Rodman. No, he wouldn't have. Come on, man. You sound bitter. You sound bitter because you were the best power forward the Bulls had until you weren't. You were the best until Dennis Rodman came there, and he out-rebounded you, and he didn't outscore Horace Grant, but that's because Rodman was a pure defensive guy when he came to the Bulls and San Antonio. When he played in Detroit, he scored. Dennis could score back in the day. Dennis Rodman, when he played with Detroit, he didn't just rebound, he scored too. But when he came to Chicago, his thing was rebound. Rebound the ball, and that's all you need to do. And that's it. And it was good. And that's all we needed him for. So why not just be what your role is? But when he needed to do it, he did stuff. He put up some points. He made a free throw here and there. Who was the worst free throw shooter in the 90s? Shaquille O'Neal or Dennis Rodman? That's a good poll question. I'm going to put that up later. I'll put that on my TikTok, and I'm going to put that on my Facebook later. Because the inquiring minds want to know, who do you think was the worst free throw shooter out of the two? Who would you pick for the most? But yeah, it's a bitter thing. Scottie Pippen and Horace Grant and Luke Longley should be thanking Jordan for those titles. Because without Michael, they would have never won. And they may have never been on a team that won, especially in the 90s. Because I think the Bulls would have still been winning those championships. If Horace wasn't there, if Pippen wasn't there, and if Luke Longley wasn't there, they would have found players to replace those guys. I mean, hell, they replaced Horace Grant, Dennis Rodman. Tony Kukoc was better than Horace Grant, too, and he was a power forward. So, yeah. Like I said, though, to me, that is where I'm sticking with, and we'll see what happens. But let's move on to some entertainment stuff now. Scottie Pippen, that was fun to talk about. But yeah, let's go into something fun. Let's see. Let's go into... Let me find it here. I have my stuff bookmarked. But yeah, I mean, one more thing on Scottie Pippen. It's like, dude, I can see why Michael Jordan's son is dipping in Larsa. I mean, I can see it. Scottie, you just turned really bitter, man. I never thought I'd see Scottie be that bitter. But then again, like I said, I watched the dude literally... I watched the dude literally sit out because Tony Kukoc got the last shot. And not Scottie. So yeah, I've seen it happen. I think all Bulls fans, we've seen it happen. All right, let's go into, let's see, the 30 most hated TV characters of all time. This is a fun little list I found one day while I was just searching through stuff. And I was on the internet, and this popped up. And let's go. Oh, man, I don't like this. This goes from 1 to 30. I don't like that. It should go from 30 to 1. I don't like that. But we're going to have to do it like this. So we'll go from... obviously the worst to the least worst, the number 30 spot. Number 1, everybody remembers him, J.R. Ewing from Dallas. Did J.R. get shot? We don't know. Who shot J.R.? We still haven't figured that out. Let's see. Number 2 is Ian Banks from One Tree Hill. So, yeah, that's number 2 on the list. Number 3, Charles Montgomery Burns from The Simpsons. Yes, he is definitely... one of the most hated TV characters of all time. Everybody hates Mr. Burns. Nobody wants to work for him. Nikki and Paulo from Lost. I never watched Lost, so I wouldn't know what these two are, but they look like they could be hated from the picture that I'm looking at. Let's see. Number 5, Dawn Summers from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Oh, yeah, I've seen her on the show. I used to watch Buffy here and there. Not much. Number 6, Harvey Weinstein from Entourage. Yeah, he was pretty bad. Wonder how many Sopranos are going to make this list. Number 7, Cousin Oliver Tyler from the Brady Bunch. Yeah, I can see that. He was a little dipshit. I didn't like him too much when I watched the Brady Bunch and stuff. Yeah, he was always trying to get people in trouble and stuff. He was trying to turn the Brady house into turmoil. Let's go on to number 8. Samuel Screech Powers from Saved by the Bell. Wait a second. Really? He was hated? See, I love Screech. I mean, he was hated by Lisa. Lisa didn't like him. But, I mean, everybody else kind of did. He was that nerdy little guy. Wow. Peppa Pig from Peppa Pig. Okay, I don't understand how a TV cartoon character is hated. Maybe hated by the adults, not the kids? I don't know. That's a little weird to me, but okay. Number 10, Henry Mills, Once Upon a Time. It's a kid. Well, okay. I'm just going by list. Paige McClures from Pretty Little Liars. If you watch Pretty Little Liars, let me know why she's hated. I don't understand. I don't watch it. Felicity Smock from Arrow. She's number 12 on the list. Number 13, Spencer Pratt from The Hills. Yes, he is. I've seen that guy. He's kind of a D-bag. Not a big fan of his. But yeah. So let's keep moving on through this list. We are at number 14, Tess Harding from Roswell. Never really watched Roswell, so I wouldn't really know, but yeah, obviously she's hated. Lincoln Potter from Mayans MC. Never seen that show, but apparently they're hated. Let's see. Cersei Lannister from Game of Thrones. If you watch Game of Thrones, you'll know why. Let's see. One thing I hate about ads is they pop up in the middle of your thing. Let me go back really quick. Next one is, I think this is a different one. Cersei Lannister from Game of Thrones at number 16. Number 17, Andrea Harrison. I don't watch The Walking Dead, but from The Walking Dead, I'm guessing it's Andrea. Let's see. Rachel Berry from Glee. You know, I haven't seen it on the list yet, and I'm very surprised. Brenda Walsh, 90210. We're wondering if she's going to pop up somewhere in here. There's 12 left, so let's see where she pops up. But number 18 is Rachel Berry from Glee. Let's see. Ross Geller from Friends. At number 19. Why would people hate Ross? Ross is one of my favorite characters on the show. I mean, I loved them all. Ross is obsessed with Rachel, but then cheats on her. Okay, yeah, I can see it. Even though they were on a break. Yeah. Okay, maybe I can see it. Let's see. Number 20 is Dan Humphrey from Gossip Girl. You made it at number 20. 21. Dawson Leary from Dawson's Creek, the star of the show. They named it after him. It's his creek. And he's hated. He's number 21. Well, yeah, he was kind of bad with Joey. Yeah, I can see it. I used to watch that show, so I can see why he was hated. Let's see. Riley Finn from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's the second one that made the list from that show. Let's see. Marty Michaels from Girls. Yeah, she, in the pictures that's on here, she looks like she could be hated. She looks kind of mean. Number 24 is Nina Myers from 24. The Jack Bauer show with, what's his name now? I can't think of his name. Kiefer Sutherland. Yeah, but damn. All right. She came in at number 24 for a show on 24. Game of Thrones, the third one. Petrie Balish came in number 25 on that list. Wow, pretty crazy. Number 26, Emily Waltham from Friends, the one that Ross marries, the British lady. Yep. She was definitely hated by the end of that show, by the end of her season. Especially because she got so mad. I mean, I get it. He said another girl's name. But at the same time, I think everybody wanted to see Ross and Rachel together. So, yeah, she kind of got in the way. Number 27, Pete Campbell from Mad Men. Let's see. We're almost at the end here. I don't know. I don't see who I'm thinking I'm going to see on here. John Smith from The Man in the High Castle. Never even heard of that show, but okay. Number 29. Number 30, Oh, no, here's 29. It was 28. Sherry Palmer from 24. Another one from 24. It must have been villains on the show. I really watch it here and there, but not much, so I didn't really get to see a lot. And number 30 is Dan Scott from One Tree Hill. So, not a huge fan of that list. I think there's a few that could have been left out. Ross Geller, I don't know why. I guess the cheating thing on Rachel, but to me, how do you have a top 30 most hated characters on TV and not have Brenda Walsh? I'm thinking most people didn't like her. And even Kelly didn't make it. You think Kelly would have made it? Because of, Kelly Taylor, because of cheating with Luke Perry and stuff and stealing him away from Brenda. How did they not make the list? Either one of them. I don't know. I'm a little lost with that one. But okay, hey. Whoever made the list, that's their list. I'd have my own list, and Shannon Doherty would be in the top 10. I did not like Brenda Walsh at all in that show. Not at all. Couldn't stand her. But yeah, so moving on, last Saturday, in fact, which is a weird day for an award show, was the SAG Awards. And I have a list of all the SAG Award winners from last week. That's the Screen Actors Guild Awards. And let's see who won. Oppenheimer and The Bear won some SAG Awards. So let's see what everybody won. Let's go down the list, just like we always do. Let's see. For film, Outstanding Performance by a Cast in a Motion Picture went to Oppenheimer. Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Leading Role went to Lily Gladstone of Killers of the Flower Moon. Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in a Leading Role went to Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer. Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Supporting Role went to Divine Joy Randolph with The Holdovers. Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in a Supporting Role went to Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer. Let's see. Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor. This is for television now. Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in a Television Movie or Limited Series went to Stephen Yeun for Beef. That was a great show. If you haven't seen that on Netflix, go check out Beef. It's a great show. Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Television Movie or Limited Series went to Ali Wong for Beef. Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in a Drama Series went to Pedro Pascal for The Last of Us. Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Drama Series, Elizabeth Debicki from The Crown. Outstanding Performance by a Male Actor in a Comedy Series went to Jeremy Allen White for The Bear. Outstanding Performance by a Female Actor in a Comedy Series went to Ayo Albrie from The Bear. Outstanding Performance by an Ensemble in a Drama Series went to Succession, another great show. Outstanding Performance by an Ensemble in a Comedy Series went to The Bear. For stunts, Outstanding Performance by a Stunt Ensemble in a Motion Picture, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. And Outstanding Performance by a Stunt Ensemble in a Television Series went to The Last of Us. That can't be all the awards. Is that it? Really? Wow. Alright, well, that's all that's on the list. So, I'm here. Let me check one more place, because I thought that there would be more, but maybe not. Because that's the Screen Actors Guild, so that's TV and movies, that's not music. So, yeah, that's probably all the awards. It wasn't a long award show. Yeah, so, yeah, we're just going to end it there. That's it. So, yeah, those were your SAG winners for last week. Oscars are coming up, obviously. Let's see. When is that coming up? It'll be Sunday, March 10th. So it's coming up in a couple of... next weekend, actually. So next week, I'll talk about the nominees for the Oscars. We'll talk about that. And the week after, of course, we'll have the winners of the Academy Awards. So we'll do that. Now, finally, we're going to talk about things that are coming to different streaming services near you. Starting today and going forward in March. I'm going to pick some of the best ones. I'm not going to talk about every show and movie, but I'll look through the list while I'm talking, and we'll pick the best ones, and I'll tell you when they're coming out. So let's start with who... hold on. What is this one? Is this Netflix? Let's start with Netflix. Let's see. Yes, here we go. All movies and shows coming to Netflix in March of 2024. So let's start out with Coming soon, Bad Dinosaurs. That's coming to Netflix Family. Don't know what Netflix Family is. I'm excited. I don't know. It sounds kind of cool. But yeah, let's see. Available March 1st, which is today. Blood and Water Season 4 is coming. Furies is coming. It's a Netflix series. Mamala Lagan High is coming to Netflix series. Let's see. And Spaceman is coming. You Are Not Alone Fighting the Wolf Pack. 2012 is going to be on there. The Amazing Spider-Man, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, 21 Bridges, A Medea Family Funeral, Beverly Hills Ninja, Bonnie and Clyde, Devil in a Blue Dress, and The Disaster Artist are all released today. So is Dragon Quest, Dumb and Dumber, Fear, Godzilla from 2014, The Jamie Foxx Show Seasons 1 through 5, Love and Basketball, Legend of Hercules, My Little Pony, Tell Your Tale Season 2 for the kids, National Lampoon's Animal House, Shake, Rattle, and Roll Extreme, and Step Brothers are going to be on there. So is Tammy, Think Like a Man 2, Tyler Perry's A Medea Family Funeral, Vampires, Voyagers, Wanderlust, and Yesterday are all going to be available as of today on Netflix. Available March 3rd, a Netflix Slam. It's a Netflix live event. March 4th, Hot Wheels Let's Race, Netflix Family, and The Resident Season 1 through 6. March 5th is nothing good. March 6th, Full Swing Season 2. It's a Netflix documentary. The Program, Cons, Cults, and Kidnapping, a Netflix documentary. Those are all March 6th. And so is Super Sex. It says IT, don't know what that is. Netflix series. Let's see, available March 7th, A Gentleman. See, I'm getting like weird... I'm getting like weird stuff next to it in asterisk, so I don't know what all that means. Like that says GB. I don't know if that's like a certain country. So if you're in that country, you'll have it. Let's see. Oh yeah, that is different countries. So I'm gonna read the ones that are in the United States, because this one, Pokemon Horizons, the series, it says JP, so I'm guessing that's Japan. So let's see. Nothing else that good. I'm looking at other dates right now for Netflix. This sounds pretty good. Available March 12th. Turning Point, The Bomb and the Cold War, a Netflix documentary. Let's see. Nothing too much better coming here. Girls 5 Eva, Seasons 1, 2, and 3, all coming to March 14th to Netflix. Let's see. I don't see nothing else that great, so we'll go on and we'll move on to the next one. Oh, Love and Hip Hop New York Seasons 1 and 2, March 18th. People love that one. Let's see. March 19th, Brian Simpson, Live from the Mothership, a comedy series. That's going to be on there. Yeah, we'll see. I don't see nothing else. Buying Beverly Hills Season 2. Gabby's Dollhouse Season 9, March 25th. Oh, The Conners Season 1 through 5, available March 27th. That's cool. So if you haven't watched The Conners, or you didn't catch up on all the first 5 seasons of it, go check that out. Oh, Hunger Games all come in here. It looks like the end of March 31st. Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2. Martin Seasons 1 through 5. That's cool. And the Hunger Games, all the Hunger Game movies are coming on March 31st. So just make sure you check those out. That's what's coming to Netflix for the month of March. Now let's move on to Hulu. I'm not going to go over TV shows because everybody knows TV shows are released the next day. So we're not going to go over that stuff. No reason for that. You know, if your favorite show's on, it'll probably be on there the next day. So let's look at March. Here's all TV shows and movies coming to Hulu in March of 2024. Today, March 1st, Yu-Gi-Oh! Complete Seasons 1 through 3. Dark Side of the 90s, complete Season 2. Dark Side of the 2000s, complete Season 1 on Vice. Alien vs. Predator Requiem, that's coming out today. So is Ali with Will Smith, Bad Teacher, Batman Begins, Belle, Bend It Like Beckham, Blade Runner 2049, Let's see. Dune from 2021. Failure to Launch. I'm only going over the good ones. Goosebumps, Goodfellas, The Heat, The Hot Chick, Ice Age, Continental Drift, Inception, LA Confidential, Life of Pi, My Cousin Vinny. Love that movie. I'll be watching that one. No Good Deed, Pokemon Detective Pikachu from 2019, Scarface from 1983. Let's see, Shark Tale. Let's see what else. Stand By Me, that's a good one. Surrogates, Takers. Let's see, and The Wrestler. I love that one, Mickey Rourke. March 2nd, Catfish, the TV show, completes season 8H. Is coming to the MTV section of it. A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood from 2019. That's with Tom Hanks, where he plays Mr. Rogers. March 5th, Master Chef Junior season 9 premiere. Let's see. Masked Singer, season 11. Hoarders, complete 14th season. It's coming out March 7th. Let's see. Grey's Anatomy, season 20 premiered March 15th. So I guess that never even premiered yet. Children of the Corn from 2023 is coming out on March 15th. Taken 1 and 2 are going to be on starting March 18th or 16th. They're going to live stream the St. Patrick's Day Parade on March 17th on ABC. So that's going to be live streamed on Hulu. If you have, I believe you have to have Hulu Live for that though. So if you have just regular Hulu, I don't think it's going to be on there. Let's see. March 21st, I Survived a Crime, complete season 2. Let's see. Pawn Stars, complete season 21. Stolen Baby, The Murder of Heidi Brozard from 2023. That's going to be on there. Let's see. March 22nd, Davy and Jonesy's Locker, complete season 1, a Hulu original. Let's see what else. Anything good? Charlie's Angels from 2019, March 25th. DC League of Super Pets with The Rock, that was a good one, March 26th. Let's see. Nothing else that good. But that's a lot of good stuff on Hulu. I'm looking just to make sure there's nothing I'm leaving out. Tyler Perry's Medea Goes to Jail. Tyler Perry and Medea's Big Happy Family. So if you like Medea, there's will be a couple movies on March 31st on Hulu also. Let's move on to Peacock. If you got the Peacock network, you can watch WWE live events on there, of course, but there's none in March, but you can rewatch Elimination Chamber and all that. So let's see. New to Peacock in 2024 of March. Let's see the full list of lineup of what's coming. Today, March 1st, 9 to 5 with Dolly Parton. About last night. Oh, was she in 9 to 5? I think so. I've seen the movie a long time ago. Alien with Sigourney Weaver is going to be on there. Along Came a Nanny. Aquaman. Let's see. Back to the Future, the whole trilogy. The Big Lebowski. Brokeback Mountain. The Color of Rain. Conan the Barbarian from 2011. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button from 2008. Dallas Buyers Club. I love that movie. I'm going to watch that with Matthew McConaughey. Dead Presidents. Death Becomes Her. Dr. Seuss's The Lorax. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. These are all movies that are released as of today, so when you hear this tonight at 5 o'clock, you can go after you watch or listen to my show, and you can go watch one of these movies. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Let's see. G.I. Jane. That's a good movie. That's what got Chris Rock slapped. Let's see. The Harry Potter series. Hellboy. The Hunger Games series. A lot of good stuff coming to Peacock. Jesus Christ Superstar, the 1973 and 2012 versions of it. Josie and the Pussycats. Kill Bill Volumes 1 and 2. Kung Fu Panda 1 and 2. League of Their Own from 92. Leprechaun series. That's pretty decent considering it's going to be Leprechaun season coming up in a couple weeks. Little Rascals. I see what you did there. Peacock with the Leprechaun series because it's coming up on St. Patty's Day. Let's see. My Cousin Vinny. Over the Hedge. Let's see. Anything good? Pretty Woman. I love that movie. Reality Bites. SWAT. Space Jam: A New Legacy, the one with LeBron James. Let's see, Wedding Planner Mystery, and Working Girl from 1988. March 2nd, tomorrow, the B Movie is going to be on there. March 6th, Crazy Rich Asians is going to be on there. March 15th, Trolls Band Together. Oh, the new Trolls movie. Yes, I'll be watching that. I love Trolls. And coming in March, I didn't do a Disney Plus one for this one, but the Eras Tour by Taylor Swift. It's either March 15th or 18th. So I'll have a release date for that next week. But yeah, that's coming out in March. So you can watch the concert and your big screen at home in the comfort of your home and don't have to spend $2,000 for a ticket. Let's see. So Trolls Band Together, that's exciting. And then March 31st, Black Christmas, A Cowgirl Story, Jackie Brown, the John Wick series is coming to Peacock, and Keeping the Faith, and Silent Night. So that's what's coming to Peacock this month, so make sure you check that out. I got 2 more to go through, then we got my top 10 list, and then you guys are out of here. It's been a great show. I've had a lot of fun today, a lot of fun stuff we got to talk about, but let's look at what is coming to HBO Max for the month of March, and then I've got Amazon Prime, and then we're done. So if I missed your streaming service, I know there's Paramount and all that, but Apple TV Plus, but I mean there's a ton. I just do the major ones that a lot of people have. So HBO Max, let's see what's coming. I don't like the way they set this up. Do they have a list? Oh, here we go. So here's all the new shows and movies coming to Max in March, starting today. Alvin and the Chipmunks, The Road Chip, Baby Mama, The Best Man Holiday, Cabaret from 1972, Dear White People from 2014, The Expendables 1, 2, and 3, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, I love that movie, Godzilla from 2014, Godzilla King of the Monsters from 2019, Horrible Bosses, King Kong, Kong Skull Island, Last Christmas from 2019, Lean on Me from 1989, let's see, Ocean's 11, Ocean's 8, Ocean's 11 from 2001, the other Ocean's 11 was from 1960, that's on there, Ocean's 13, so all the Ocean's movies pretty much, Rambo from 2008 when he came back, let's see, Scream 1, 2, and 3, She's Out of My League from 2010. Sleepless in Seattle, love that movie. Straight Outta Compton, another great one from NWA. Yes Man, and Zookeeper. March 3rd from Oprah's network, it's Oprah and Angela Bassett. The Regime, an HBO original. March 4th, Rock the Block Season 5 from HGTV. You can see that on there. Let's see, March 5th, The Revolution of Canvas. March 6th, My 600-Pound Life, Season 12, is on the TLC part of it. Let's see, March 8th, Care Bears Unlock the Magic, Grumpy's Ginormous Adventure. It's a special, so make sure you check that out with your kids, especially you Care Bears fans from the 90s. That's awesome that they're bringing it back. Gold Rush, Whitewater, A Star is Born. That's a great movie. And Wonka from 2024. Man, that came out quick on HBO Max. They didn't waste any time. Let's see. March 12th, Seven Little Johnsons, Season 14. The Many Lives of Martha Stewart, a CNN original on there. The movie Vacation, National Lampoon's Not. The 2015 version where an adult Rusty takes his family. And Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo make an appearance in it too, so it's really cool. Check that movie out. And then the 14th, Justice from USA, a Max original, and The Girls on the Bus, a Max original is coming, so make sure you check that out. Let's see what else we got. House Hunters, Legally Blonde. So yeah, a lot of good stuff on Max. Elvis from 2022 is leaving Max on March 1st, so today it's left. And let's move on to the next one. Alright, last one for you Amazon Prime members like me. What's coming to Prime Video in March? Starting today, March 1st. A Fistful of Dynamite from 1972. Let's see, Back to School from 1986. Man, they're going way back on some of these. Batman from 1989. Batman Returns. The best Batman ever in those. Michael Keaton. Let's see, Biodome. Hell yeah, Pauly Shore, baby. Let's see, Bring It On. Bring It On, All or Nothing, and Bring It On, Fight to the Finish. Bull Durham, Bulletproof Monk. Cadillac Man, Desperately Seeking Susan, Field of Dreams, Friday Night Lights, How High 1 and 2, How to Train Your Dragon, Kicking and Screaming, Paul Blart Mall Cop 1 and 2, Pet Sematary from 1989, Premonition from 2007, Roadhouse from 1989, let's see, Safe House from 2012, Species The Awakening, the Brady Bunch movie from 1995, The Breakup with Vince Vaughn and Jennifer Aniston, love that movie, the Divergent series, Allegiant from 2016 and Insurgent from 2015, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 from 1986, The Untouchables, Vanilla Sky, Waterworld, and What Lies Beneath. March 3rd, Paranormal Activity, The Ghost Dimension from 2015. March 5th, Five Nights at Freddy's, the new movie that was just out at the movie theater. It was like an hour long. My daughter went to see it. It was supposed to be pretty good. So that's out as of March 5th. March 7th, Divergent. March 12th, My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3. If you haven't seen that yet, it's coming to Amazon Prime, where you can watch it for part of your subscription. Let's see, March 19th, the Lego Batman movie, and then March 21st, Roadhouse, the new Roadhouse, with Jake Gyllenhaal. That's going right there. He did a remake. Let's see, March 26th, Minions, The Rise of Rue. Let's see, that comes out, and then that's it. Battle Royale on March 31st. So those are the movies coming out on all the streaming services. If you have any of those, make sure you check it out. And now, finally, let's go through my top 10 list of alternative women, the best of all time. Number 10 on my list is Bjork. Number 9, Tori Amos. Number 8, Lana Del Rey. Number 7, Fiona Apple. Number 6 is Lorde. Number 5, Gwen Stefani. Number 4 is Courtney Love. Number 3 is Amy Lee from Evanescence. Love her voice. Number 2, Liz Phair. And number 1, the best alternative singer in my mind of women is Alanis Morissette. If you want to give me some of your top 10 list, go ahead and send me an email. All my info is down below in... you can email me, you can add me to Facebook, you can add me to TikTok, you can add me to any of those. So make sure you do that. And then send me messages and let me know who's your favorite of this. Anything we talked about today, football, hockey, we talked about a lot of stuff. Next week, I'm going to have the top 10 Chicago Bears busts of all time from the draft. That's going to be a fun one. We're going to talk about that next week. We'll also have some more news on free agency opening the week after that, so we'll be talking a little bit about that. We got a lot of stuff coming up, so it's a fun offseason for the Bears. Maybe by then we'll know if Justin Fields is going to stay or get traded. They did say by the NFL draft, which is the week after next week, so it's coming down. It's coming down to the wire. We need to know what's going on, Ryan Poles. Let us know. Is Justin staying or is he going? Do I have a jersey of a former player, or do I have to buy a new jersey for a new player? Because if Caleb Williams comes to Chicago, or Kirk Cousins, or any of them, I will be buying their jersey for the 2024 season. So yeah, let me know in the comments if you're listening on YouTube. Let me know in the comments what you think of the show. What can I do better? What can I do? What other topics do you want to hear? What do you want me to talk about? Entertainment. I talk about TV, music, movies. We talk about sports. We talk about wrestling. So let me know what you want to talk about on the show, and we'll talk about it. And then next week, I'm going to have another poll question. At the end of April, the first week of May, we're going to have a drawing on around Cinco de Mayo time. We're going to do a drawing for my Robbie.G podcast shirt. So yeah, make sure that you watch for the different poll questions. We already got a couple people in it that one that got in there. So we'll see. I'll see everybody next week. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and don't die. Enjoy the weekend. It's supposed to get warm again this weekend in the Midwest. It's supposed to be in the 60s and 70s. This weather is going to make everybody sick. I don't know what else to say. I got to go. I'll see everybody next week. Peace. Have a good one, everybody. And enjoy time with your family.